Hey, what's going on, fam? Welcome to my channel. I'm DocHollyHealth. I'm a doctor of physical therapy, trainer, and a yoga instructor. And today I wanted to talk to you about how I train my legs, how I program my leg days for progression, and how I use the 5-3-1 method to make this happen. That's by Jim Wendler. I've read this book and I use a lot of his training principles to make sure that I'm not plateauing, that I'm always getting stronger and gaining the muscle mass, the toning, the strength that I want, and it's not just throwing spaghetti at the wall. I know that I'm progressing because I create a plan. So my plan for leg day is going to consist of what you do before leg day, your warm up, the meat of the exercises, and the cool down. The preparation starts before you even walk into the gym. I want you on Sunday night to look in your calendar to know what days of the week am I going to the gym to do legs, because this is going to require a lot of energy to make sure you have the best workout, right? We want to push ourselves to our limit because we need to be doing that to make sure that we're growing. So I know what days, so I can make sure I get good amount of sleep. I'm already following my routines. I'm eating well, a good balanced meal, prioritizing my protein, prioritizing a good all-around meal, vegetables, good carbs, so that you have that energy and the calories to work hard the next day. Please don't discount your nutrition. I'm not going to go too deeply into that. So you know that you're drinking enough water, you're eating healthy, you know what time of the day. So when you wake up the next day or when you finish work and you go to the gym, you're ready to go right into your workout. So then it's time, and you're gonna prepare yourself mentally by putting on your playlist that you love to jam out to, having whatever pre-workout drink, whether it's just chugging water, maybe you take a pre-workout. I just like half coffee, half decaf, or matcha. I don't like to have too much caffeine because it makes me break out. That's a hormonal thing. We can go more into that later. I will talk a little bit about cycle strategy throughout this, but I'm just barely going to touch on it. When you hit the gym, you've already gotten the mind, the body wrapped around what you're doing that day. So now you're going to do your warm up. You'll start on some cardio machine. Maybe it's 5 minutes on the Stairmaster, maybe it's the rowing ergometer, maybe it's the spin bike. Whatever it is, you start there to get blood to your muscles. After you're warm, then I want you to go into 5 more minutes of a dynamic warm up. You're basically going to be doing a dynamic stretch so that you make sure you're getting your joints and your blood flow, your body's natural coconut oil, all of that ready so that you don't hurt yourself. You're gonna make sure you have the safest workout. So let's say I'm talking about my shoulder joint mobility, it's lifting my arm overhead, right? You're literally just going through the motions. So warm up effectively. Then part of my warm up is getting my CNS, my central nervous system, ready to push some weight. You're getting your type 2 muscle fibers, your fast twitch muscle fibers turned on and ready to go, whether you're gonna do 5 to 10 jump squats, box jumps, or medicine ball slams. Those are all great options to get your muscle fibers ready to work. Good, so you've already been warming up for 10 to 15-ish minutes. Now let's get into the workout. You wanna work out, number one, doing your priority compound movement. So for me on my leg days, that's either my squat or my deadlift. And those are the movements that I'm going to calculate my 5-3-1 numbers. And then I'm going to do 2, maybe 3 more assistance exercises, and then finish with like a glute burnout. So I'm doing no more than 4 to 5 exercises on my leg day, because less smarter is more. You don't need to do 10 to 15 exercises a session, because then you're kind of just exercising. You're not training for gains. If you're here because you've been training a long time and you want a method to make sure that you're not plateauing, this is it. I will say this is not really for the very beginner. First, I'd rather you take your time to just really get good at form for basic movement patterns, for the squat, for the deadlift, for any type of hinging movement. I want you to feel great about. So check in with a trainer, check in with a friend who really does know what they're doing, and make sure that, you know, you've got your form, and then we can create more of a program that's geared towards progressing you to this. The 5-3-1 program is going to calculate using your max, and then we'll find specific training percentages to make sure that you're always going up. So my recent 5-rep max, which means how much weight can I push in a squat for 5 reps, is about 185. So I'm going to use that number, 185, to calculate what my true 1 RM is, 1 rep max. And here is the formula. 185, the load, times how many reps? 185 times 5. Then you're going to use 0.0333 times 0.0333 equals 30.8, and then add the weight or the load back in, plus 185. So that's going to be 215.8. This is my 1 rep max. You can use this calculation without having to actually do a 1 rep max, safer for your body. Then from here, I'm gonna find my training max at either, you can use 85% or 95%. If you're new to this, use more 85%. I actually like to use 90%. So times 0.9, 194 is my training max. So you're using this number, so we're not actually ever pushing weight at your very max. This makes sure you have room to grow. Here it goes. So 1 week, I'm going to do 3 sets of 5 at 60% of training max, 70% of my training max, 80% of my training max. The next week, I'm gonna do 75%, 85%, 95%. The following week, the 3rd week, I'll do 65, 75, 85. You're going to repeat that cycle, that 3-week cycle, 3 times. That's going to take you 9 weeks. Then you're going to deload and then retest. The idea is when you retest, you've gotten stronger, so then these numbers are going to be greater using the same exact formulas. It's that simple. 3 sets of 5, 3 weeks, you're progressing and regressing the intensity throughout. After you hit those 3 sets of 5, I'm gonna stay on the squat rack. We're not done yet, people. We're not done, because not only do I wanna get strong, I also want to gain that muscle hypertrophy. I want my cells to grow so I get a little bit thicker. Anybody with me on the gains train? Let's go. So I'm gonna stay on the squat rack and I'm gonna hit 5 sets of 10 at 50% of my training max. So 194 is my training max times 0.5. I'm gonna do 97. I usually just put a 25 on each side, call it 95. And that's what I'm gonna hit. There's your first exercise. You see how long I'm on the squat rack? Like, I'm literally on there 20 to 30 minutes. Then I've got 30 more minutes to go. I'm gonna choose 2 single leg exercises and then a glute burnout. My second one I've been doing lately is a single leg press. I love that one. If you put your foot a little bit higher, turn your toe out, turn your knee out, and push your body away, you can really feel the glute and the hamstring helping you push. Of course, the quad is working as well, and you can do 4 to 5 sets of 10 of that one. Then the next exercise that I do, I'll likely do 3 or 4 sets of 12. For this, I like any other single leg movement, whether it's a single leg RDL, a single leg curl, a single leg, like any type of lunge movement, any type of split squat or a Bulgarian split squat, any step up. That's what I would put next. Once I've hit 2 more of those, I've got room for 1 more exercise to burn out my butt. So I'll likely hop on the hip thrust machine and crank out 3 or 4 sets of 12 to 15 for the glute burnout. Make sure you're really fatiguing those glute muscle fibers, because you got to break them down to build them up. After that, that is literally it. That is 4 exercises, people. 4 exercises. Stop with doing multiple hours of just whatever Instagram influencer they post that day. I mean, it'll work if you want to just exercise and, you know, you're getting started and you're trying to get ideas, but it's not about that. It's about getting really good at the basics, making sure you have that mind-body connection. So if you're squatting, you're feeling your leg muscles work. You're not feeling your joints, your back, and you're not dumping into it. You're making sure these are quality, purposeful, and intentional movements. That's when it starts to be a game changer. So I'm so excited to be able to share this method with you. I hope it helps you. After I hit the workout, make sure you have time to cool down, to stretch, eat really well. If you are trying to gain, I recommend being more in a calorie surplus, but eating good nutrient-dense food, and you're not going to get anywhere if you're not eating enough. So make sure you're doing that part of it too. And listen to your body first and foremost. I really try to do my heavier lifts when I'm hitting more of like the 95% of my training max when I'm in the first half of my cycle. So when I'm in the follicular phase into the ovulatory phase, that's when I'm naturally going to have the most energy with my hormones. So I'm going to look ahead at when I'm supposed to have my period so I can kind of plan that out. And give yourself grace around your period. If you need to take a few days to have a little bit more lower key workouts, do that. Make sure that you are feeling good and you're not just pushing yourself when your body's not ready for that. How you feel is so important, but be committed to the process. If you miss a workout, you know that you're gonna do it the next week because it's not a choice. It's whether you're gonna work out or not, it's more like a decision. This is part of my life. I've decided to be the healthiest and strongest version of myself, so I'm gonna go to the gym. This is my leg day. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope this helped you to be able to plan your workouts a little bit better so that you know how to get those gains. Let's go. Working on those biceps, gotta get those arms too, haul. I'll see you next time. Subscribe to my channel if this helped you. That really helps my channel so we can get more of this information out there. I will see you next time, my love.